When I think of the question today, what is a man? I often come back to the topic of what a United States soldier is. Our airmen, Marines, sailors, how they willingly just sacrifice themselves. This week in the news, there was the young National Guardsman, I believe it was in Texas on the Rio Grande, and jumped in to save an illegal alien lady, and it looks like he lost his life because they haven't even found his body. Without hesitation, someone who wasn't even part of his country or anything, he jumped in to save him. When I think of what a man is, I come to the topic often about what a soldier, what a serviceman, and the people who serve our country, because the ones who charged hills, either whether they be Iwo Jima or Normandy or Desert Storm or rice paddies in Vietnam, who thought nothing of other people to give up their life, to me, that is a man. The Apostle Paul asks this and says this in 1 Corinthians 16:13. Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. So what is a man then? I don't know if we really have any idea anymore about what a real man is. If you're taking notes today as we sort of introduce our message today, I want to give you three things about what a man is. First of all, a man is brave. The bravery that it takes of our soldiers to do what they do. Let me just say this to you. There are two very brave people when it comes to the United States military. There are the soldiers who go to fight. There are soldiers right now of ours that are in Europe. Who knows what's going to happen there? There are soldiers who have charged hills and everything else, but there's another brave person involved in that equation. There are the mothers who let those men and women leave. If you're going to pray for anybody today, pray for our soldiers, amen? But pray for their moms too, because they stand in the background desperately wanting to see their boy, desperately hoping that their girl is safe. They stormed beaches. They did it all for us. Secondly, what is a man? A man is faithful. One of my favorite stories took place in the Battle of the Bulge, which was around Christmas Day of 1944. It was the Nazis' last sort of push to try to push the Allies off of the European continent. It didn't work. But during that, they kind of took the Americans by surprise because we thought that was basically over. And one of the events and all the chaos that took place in the Ardennes Forest was that General Omar Bradley kind of got displaced from where he was at, and he was kind of wandering. Well, a young private came upon Omar Bradley and put his gun up and thought he was a spy. And he said, well, I'm General Bradley. He says, no way, you're General Bradley. He said, if you're General Bradley, then tell me the capital of the state of Illinois. And General Bradley looked at it and said, well, it's Springfield. Well, the young man said, wrong answer, it's Chicago. And he arrested General Bradley. Now, if you know your geography, you know that General Bradley was right. The young man didn't get in trouble, actually. Just because he didn't know geography, he didn't get in trouble. He was actually praised by the general and said, why? Because you did your job. You were faithful to what you were supposed to do. Even if you are ignorant, a man is still faithful to his responsibilities. Number three. Whoops. There we go. It's that kind of day. A man is sacrificial. A man is sacrificial. I had this in mind yesterday watching Miguel Cabrera hit 3,000 hits, and some people said he was the greatest hitter of all time, and I laughed at that and said, no, he's not. He might be the greatest right-handed hitter, but the greatest hitter of all time in baseball is Ted Williams. It's beyond a shadow of a doubt. Ted Williams was so amazing in this that he was at the apex of his career. In 1941, he batted over 400. He batted 401. It's an amazing story. It's never even been close. No one's ever done it since then. He batted 401, and at the end of the fall of 1941, Pearl Harbor happened. Ted Williams took 3 years out of his major league career, being the greatest hitter of all times, and went not just to serve, wasn't a poster boy, was an actual fighter pilot. An incredibly dangerous job for 3 years, was a fighter pilot in the Army Air Force then. It wasn't the Air Force, the Army Air Force then, and sacrificed 3 years of his career, came back, and the next year batted .342. That's a man. Now, I say that to ask you this. Do you think that many of our millionaire pampered athletes would give up the 3 years of their high point of their career and money to go and fight and risk their lives in probably one of the most, other than the storming the beaches of Normandy, the most dangerous job you could have in World War II. A man sacrifices, and by the way, Ted Williams, a lot of people don't know this, was half white and half Mexican. Just a little bit of trivia. And his mom was a missionary for the gospel of Jesus. If you look at all three of those things, all three of those things, yes, describe our soldiers, describe our servicemen and women in it, but they describe Jesus. Brave, faithful, and sacrificial. And someone has accurately said, only two people have ever died for you, United States soldier and Jesus Christ.